In the village of Kachala, beauty was a language spoken fluently and without mercy. It lived in the swing of a woman's hips as she carried water from the river, in the shine of a girl's teeth when she laughed, in the smoothness of skin that caught the sun just right. Beauty decided who was greeted warmly and who was passed like a shadow. It decided who danced at weddings and who served food quietly in the corner. It decided who was loved. And then there was Niaboke. From the day she was born, people said the world had been unkind to her face. Her nose was too broad, her skin marked and uneven, her eyes large in a way that unsettled children. When she smiled, people flinched before they forced politeness. When she cried, no one hurried to comfort her. By the time she was old enough to walk, whispers followed her small feet like dust. Why does she look like that? Poor child! But still, cover her face. She will scare the babies. Her mother died when Niaboke was 7. After that, whatever softness existed in her home dried up like a river in drought. Her siblings, 3 sisters and 1 brother, treated her as a burden. They did not beat her, but they wounded her daily with laughter sharpened into knives. "Stand at the back," her eldest sister would say when visitors came. "Don't embarrass us," another would add, pushing her behind the hut. At night, Niaboke listened to her sisters whisper about suitors who admired them. She heard giggles, plans, dreams spoken freely in the dark. No one ever asked Niaboke what she dreamed of. No one assumed she had dreams at all. When she went to the river, children scattered. Some screamed and ran, others threw stones and laughed. "Ghost face!" they shouted. "Monster!" She learned to walk with her head lowered, eyes fixed on the earth. She learned to make herself small, to fold her presence into corners. Her laughter disappeared first. Then her voice grew thin and rare. Even the village dogs barked at her longer than necessary. Men never looked at her twice. When she passed a group of young men, conversation paused, then resumed with cruel jokes once she was out of earshot. Mothers never pointed her out to their sons. No one imagined her as a bride, a wife, or a mother. By 18, Niaboke understood her place in the world. She would live quietly, she would work hard, she would expect nothing. But fate, like a patient hunter, was watching. One evening, as the sun bled red into the hills, Niaboke was sent to collect firewood deep in the forest. Her sisters had already bathed and eaten. This task was for her alone. The forest grew thick and unfamiliar, shadows stretching long and crooked. The air smelled of damp earth and secrets. That was when she saw the hut. It stood where no hut should stand, crooked, woven from branches and old cloth, smoke rising though no fire was visible. Niaboke froze. Fear and curiosity wrestled inside her chest. "Come closer, child," a voice called. Niaboke's feet moved before her courage could object. An old woman sat outside the hut, skin wrinkled like dried bark, eyes sharp and bright. Her hair was white, wild, crowned with leaves. She looked at Niaboke not with disgust or pity, but with something deeper, recognition. "You are very alone," the old woman said. Niaboke swallowed. "Everyone is," she replied quietly. The old woman laughed, a sound like crackling fire. "No, not like you." She reached into the hut and brought out a small bar of soap wrapped in banana leaves. It shimmered faintly, as if remembering light. "Bathe with this tonight," the old woman said, "from head to toe. Do not share it. Do not speak of it. And listen well. There is one rule you must never break." Niaboke's heart pounded. "What rule?" The old woman's eyes darkened. Never let another person see you bathe. Never allow envy to witness your transformation. If you break this rule, what you gain will not only leave you, it will return with interest. Nyabok hesitated. Why help me? The old woman smiled sadly. Because the world has been cruel, and cruelty leaves debts. Before Nyaboke could ask more, the forest wind rose. Leaves swirled. When the air settled, the old woman and hut were gone. Only the soap remained. That night, Nyabok bathed by moonlight, alone behind the hut while her siblings slept. As water touched the soap, it turned milky and warm, smelling of rain and wildflowers. She scrubbed her skin gently at first, then, with growing urgency, the water shimmered, her skin softened. Marks faded, bone shifted with a strange, painless warmth. She gasped, clutching her face as if waking from a dream. When she finished, trembling, she looked into the water's reflection. Nyaboke screamed, not in fear, but disbelief. A beautiful woman stared back. Her skin glowed deep and even, her eyes large but luminous, her lips full and gentle. She was breathtaking, not in a fragile way, but in a powerful, commanding way. At dawn, the village woke to shock. Her sisters stared at her as if seeing a spirit. Men stumbled over their words. Women whispered behind hands, now trembling with envy. Who is she? Is that Nyaboke? Impossible! Men came with gifts. Mothers smiled too hard. Elders suddenly remembered her name. She was invited to dances, feasts, gatherings she had only ever served at from the shadows. Nyaboke learned how quickly love could bloom when beauty opened the door, but she also learned how sharp envy could be. Suitors lined up. Some spoke poetry, others promised cattle, land, houses. Women who once laughed now measured her with calculating eyes. Even her sisters grew distant, smiles stiff with something dangerous. Each night, Nyaboke bathed alone, clutching the soap like a secret heartbeat. Each night, she remembered the warning. Until one evening, laughter drifted too close. A cousin, drunk with curiosity and jealousy, followed Nyaboke quietly. When Nyaboke bathed, the cousin peered through the reeds. The water shimmered. The soap slipped from Nyaboke's hands. She felt it immediately, a sharp cold, like teeth closing around her spine. By morning, the glow was gone. Her skin dulled. Marks reappeared, not as before, but worse, twisted, angry. People recoiled. Whispers turned vicious. Nyaboke ran. She searched the forest for days, calling for the old woman until her voice broke. No hut, no smoke, no answer. At last, exhausted, she collapsed beneath a tree. The soap lay cracked beside her, dull and lifeless. As night fell, footsteps approached. An old woman's voice whispered from the dark, "Some lessons cannot be undone." Nyaboke looked up. The old woman smiled, but her eyes were empty, and then the forest went silent.